Good evening, people. Things are progressing here every day, little by little. And now I have some machine foot, self-made machine foot under the lathe. The large TOS lathe, I mean. I actually made them myself. It's just a simple piece of 60mm steel with a 5mm piece of rubber under it. I just don't like the idea to have absolutely no suspension, no rubber under the foot. So I decided to put some little bit of rubber dampening, but it's so thin that it shouldn't affect leveling, as my hockey puck feet did. Maybe you can remember from my 1K65 lathe videos. So I actually did some leveling to the lathe, and it's pretty close now, but it seems to have a tiny bit of a bow in the middle, and I think that's because when the lathe was outside there was almost no weight on the middle foot, so it was only supported from the two ends. So I think it might have had the most stress in the middle part. So I think that's what has made the bow. But now I left it so that the part from the middle to the headstock end is pretty level, and the rest of the lathe is hanging a little bit. So there is not much tension on this foot, but there is tension on the other ones. So in that way I'm trying to correct it. And even if I cannot correct it, it's not going to be a problem, because if I can read my scale, my precision level scale correctly, and the bow is only like 400ths of a millimeter. Actually, I think it's a little bit more over the distance, but maybe something like 600ths of a millimeter. But I will try to correct that soon. But what I'm working with now is the feed gearbox. I noticed that the oil is not flowing in it. It had quite a bit of oil in it, so it has had some lubrication just from splashing. But I took the oil pump and oil filter unit out, and I'm cleaning it now. I think it was just very clogged, and also from sitting outside in the damp, some water has got into this filling hole, oil filling hole, and it was actually when it's supposed to be in the middle of the scale, it was maybe like here, just from water mixing with the oil, and it still has some brown crap in the glass, but it's actually completely empty now. Okay, and the view is something like this. This bolt you can see here is for draining, and right here the other hole with 3 threaded holes is for the oil pump, and right there you can see the oil pipe going up here, where we have another eye for checking oil flow. Okay, so it's pumping the oil from the sump to the top, and you can't see any gears right there, but to me they look pretty good. Okay, so now let me show you what the pump and filter unit look like. It's pretty compact. And by the way, take a look at my barrel grill, El Mystico. I think it's pretty cool. Very, very simple and robust. And twin exhaust. it actually works very, very well. And because the exhaust pipes are so small, it kind of acts as a smoker also. Okay, now let me show you the oil pump unit, which I already cleaned. And it is right here. And this is the bottom side, and this is the upside. And you can see there's a mesh filter. Come on, focus. Again, sorry for not using my proper camera. Okay, here we go. So, let me remove this plug. And actually this plug is a piston. And it has some kind of a bearing contact material on top of it right here. So this works so that right here I have a bolt with a spring which goes here, and it is pushing the piston up all the time. And you cannot see it, but right above this filter unit is a camshaft which is rotating like this, and it is pushing this piston up and down, and therefore it's sucking air, I mean oil from these holes through this mesh filter, and it is pushing it to the pipe right here. And this pipe, maybe you can see it or not, a little bit, yes, you can see a spring and a ball right there, which acts as a one-way valve. So I actually think this is quite ingenious. It's so simple, so small. Let's just hope it still works. And also I like the quality of it, because you can see this surface has been ground. So even a part like this really has had some attention to it. And I like that. Okay, now let me put some sealant on this surface and reinstall it and put some oil inside. Okay, this is the parts for the carriage oil pump, and it's very much similar to the feed gearbox oil pump. Actually, it's almost a perfect copy, except that there is no pipe coming out. The oil is coming from this hole. So it is sucking in through this mesh filter again, and it's pushing the oil through one-way valve out of this hole. Okay, and also of course there's a hole in the gasket. And I think this is not the original gasket, as the feed gearbox gasket was. So somebody has already cleaned this once, and actually this wasn't as bad as the carriage box. I mean the feed box. And also the system that actuates this pump is a little bit different. It feels like there's some kind of a lever like this, which does this type of motion. I cannot see inside the box, so I don't know what drives that lever, but I'm just gonna have to trust that it actually works. Maybe I can switch the electricity on and try running the carriage box and see what happens without having the pump attached, so I can see if the lever actually moves. But now let me put this back together. Okay, did you ever hear the advice of starting with the easiest thing when troubleshooting a problem? I had heard of it, but of course I didn't remember it at the correct time. So I put the pump back together and tried running the lathe, and there's a oil flow glass which you can see through, and I didn't see any flow. And then I took the glass away, and I think it was actually the dirtiest part in the oiling system. now it's cleaned and it's already looking better. But it was actually so dirty that I couldn't see through it. I think the pump actually was pumping all the time, even before I cleaned the pump. So there wasn't actually a problem at all. But at least now I have some fresh oil which for sure needed to be cleaned because it was mixed with water also. And also the filter is now cleaned. So of course I'm happy with it, very happy with it. I had to do it anyways, but it would have been nicer to clean the glass first and see what actually is happening. And I should have also cleaned this glass. Can you see? It's very, very dirty. The oil level is actually here now, but this used to be the place where the oil used to be when it was mixed with water, and there's some remnants of that dirty oil in the glass. So when I had all the oil out, it would have been really easy to remove this and clean it, but now it's too late. The oil will just pour out if I do it. But if you do repairs like this, I think you should also clean these glasses. And I think I can now show you how the oil pump actually pumps. And to do that, I must also start the lathe. I'm not sure if I have shown it to you before, but now I'm going to do it. First you have to make sure that the lathe is in neutral, the clutch is in neutral I mean. And then switch on the electricity, and this light will come on. And then this has the start triangle switch that you have to operate when starting the lathe, because the large motor will otherwise burn the fuses. And it will actually burn them immediately. I have tried that. So now it's in star, and I will start, and when it runs I will turn it to triangle or delta. Just like that. Now we can run. And of course that very switch is missing the handle. I must get a new one. I'm running at a slow speed, because if I was running faster, the oil would float over the hole. Okay, there you go. It is pumping, and even if I have my finger stuck in the pipe, it still pumps. So there is actually some strength to the pump also, which is good. Okay. Okay, and actually I also figured out the carriage oiling system. When you run the rapid feed right here, rapid traverse I mean, it actuates the pump. So it seems like the pump only runs when you use the rapid feed or the rapid traverse. And what it lubricates I'm not quite sure, but I think it also lubricates the cross-slide ways and also the long ways. But I'm sure. I wish I had a manual for this lathe. And also I wonder if this is some kind of a switch for the oiling system. I still haven't really tried turning it, but I think I will do that. And the pump is now ready to go back in. It's now cleaned and reassembled. Okay, I'm now happy to tell you that this TOS SN63B lathe is the first machine in my shop that's completely 100% ready for work. And that's awesome. So the carriage oiling system is now back together, and using my small flashlight I watched in there and did the rapid traverse, and it's spraying oil like crazy, so it really is working. And I did a little bit of cleaning to the lathe, and I oiled all the ways very thoroughly. And now I have my dial indicator set for checking wear on the bedways. Can you see that all? Now you can, okay. Okay, so I have the indicator base on the carriage and the indicator indicating the tailstock way. So let's see what kind of a result we get. And the result we get is influenced by both the main ways, carriage ways, and also the tailstock ways. I think from about 1 meter forward now, it should show about 0, because the ways are pretty much unworn until here, completely unworn, and machining marks perfectly visible. But from here, I think we will first see a tiny drop in the tailstock way, because it's most used in this part. And then I think near the headstock end, we should see the bedways, the carriage ways having some wear, and the tailstock ways not having any wear again. So let's see what kind of a result we get.